Let me do an intro really quick. What's going on, everyone? This is, I don't even know what episode we're on now. I think we're on episode 12 of Midcurve. I'm here with the man, the myth, the Solana Legend himself. You like that intro?
Yeah.
Live and in the flesh. And we did a podcast with you not too long ago, and it blew up. The only person who's outdone you in views is Joe McCann.
Okay.
And that's because he went full bullish.
I mean, he's the Michael Saylor of Bonk. So how do I compete with that?
Yeah, exactly. So speaking of, let's just jump into it. You don't need any introduction, right? Everyone knows who the Solana Legend is. Let's talk about what we've been talking about right before this podcast, which is meme coins. So give me your take, good or bad. Solana has, I guess I'll give it some context. Like Solana has become kind of the meme coin chain, right? Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Good or bad?
I think it's great. I mean, people are having fun, and that's one of the most important things, right? People ask what differentiates one chain from another. Yeah. A lot of people like to talk about the tech and sort of split hairs on, one technical trade-off versus another.
Yeah.
But I think the real, utility for a lot of people for blockchains is just having fun, making money.
That's right.
And people overcomplicate things, and I think meme coins right now are the bleeding edge of the speculative layer, not just on Solana, but on any chain. And really, it's almost like the fast dopamine culture. We got into this at some point. People used to go to the movies or sit in an opera house for 4 hours and watch a show. And then they, watched a movie that was a little bit shorter. Then they watch a TV show that was 30 minutes long. Yep. Then they watch a YouTube video that was 5 minutes long, right? And now they watch 15-second reels or TikToks.
Yeah, TikTok has destroyed our attention span.
But I think it's that fast dopamine culture that's getting faster and faster. And meme coins represent the fastest way to, just make a market, make a bet on culture, an asymmetric bet on culture, right? And to do it quickly. NFTs used to be that, but I think just the liquidity and the fast-paced trading of meme coins is hard to compete with.
Yeah.
Because, you get the instant feedback. You can literally rally a community and rally an army in a matter of minutes, rather than days or weeks.
Yeah. So what do you think about NFTs then? Do you think NFTs make a comeback?
I think they do.
Or you think this is just meme coin culture from here on out? I
mean, it's definitely a meme coin super cycle. I do subscribe to that view. I think that's a trend that is not slowing down.
Yeah.
If anything, it's going to accelerate. Yeah. But I think towards the final third of the bull market, there's always quite a bit of NFT mania, inevitably. You know what I mean? And people, the moment people start saying something's dead and never coming back, it's usually a good time to start paying a little bit more attention to it and start making your bets on what can outperform, because it's a very reflexive asset class, right? Digital assets in general are reflexive, but JPEGs, given that you're talking about communities of real people, just magic happens. Some guy on the other side of the world comes up with something, and again, they're just a lightning rod. You can drive community effects, network effects, everything. You can just drive a crazy amount of just a force multiplier for community and culture, through the middle of an NFT project. And this is really the superpower in my opinion. It's the coordination.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you think about celebrities coming in and pumping their own meme coins? Because I think there's been a lot of debate on Twitter over the last couple of days with, what's happened with Iggy coming on and doing and then the Jenner coin and all that. So what do you think about this? To me, sorry to cut you off, but this seems to happen every cycle. Celebrities come in, just try to rug everyone.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts?
I mean, celebrities, by definition, they sort of have to stay culturally relevant, right? That's how they almost that's. I don't want to say that's the definition of a celebrity, but if you look at someone like Kanye, who's been culturally relevant for most of my lifetime, well over a decade. His impact transcends music, right? It goes into just general pop culture. It goes into fashion now, all these different things. So it's sort of I think celebrities are always looking for the next medium to extend their cultural relevancy. And I think crypto is naturally going to be a big breeding ground for this sort of activities because crypto allows you to make a market for anything, for a person even, right? And it's almost like, to your point on meme coins, like we started out with meme coins that were like Gen Zero meme coins, like Doge, right? Just an OG internet meme, funny looking dog, you know, RIP, the dog passed away.
Yeah, dude, don't disrespect the dead.
No, I mean, all like it's
all due respect.
All due respect, you know what I mean? And basically, like that was like a Gen Zero meme, you know what I mean? And then we went from there to like crypto native internet memes like Pepe and others. And I think the next generation, like the Gen 2 or Gen 3 of memes, is actually going to be like people. And almost like, you know, in the past, like political movements or ideological movements where, you know, someone would write a manifesto and, you know, spread leaflets or pamphlets and then the movement would grow. I think this stuff happens on chain now through shared ownership.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
So you're thinking like the Bowdens, the Trumps, those types of memes are going to be like the next phase, and now we have like the celebrity coins that are coming.
Yeah.
So people are essentially tokenizing their own brand.
Yeah. I mean, tokenizing a person, tokenizing a movement, tokenizing an idea, a philosophy.
Yeah, a philosophy.
It will happen. It won't be just like a funny picture of a dog.
Yeah.
And
so you're saying if Karl Marx lived today, the Communist Manifesto would have been tokenized.
Exactly. If Marx and Engels wrote the manifesto again, 1848, it'd be a meme coin. No, I'm kidding.
That's actually fun.
But I'm just saying, like, it's a way of coordinating people around an idea.
That's right.
Right. And
Yeah.
I think that's really the superpower of crypto is the coordination piece.
Yeah.
And being able to just get people excited about something through shared ownership.
Yeah. And so talking about like meme coins and NFTs, and like which one's going to outdo the other, do you think that the hybrids are going to do well coming up? Because that's both.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I it's no secret. Like, I'm really bullish on the category because I think it's sort of like, you know, if you could be a PFP and a meme coin, why would you be just one?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? You can go back and forth.
So which one do you think will outperform? I saw Mutant. They're actually here.
They're here.
Consensus.
They are.
But who like which one are you thinking plays? Say Apple.
Apple has a crazy community.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys, like, they show up like I've never seen people raid as hard as them.
Yeah. I just want the views. I just want the clicks. That's why I said Apple.
Apple,
so all you freaking fanatics out there.
Apple is out of control. Like,
they
that
are
community
out of control.
is completely out of control.
Yeah. So like on your last podcast that we did, when we posted, we still they're still reposting your podcast from last time.
But it's almost like the meme stocks of this cycle are trading on chain, you know?
Yeah.
Like you had, you know, obviously like GME and AMC and the whole saga in 2021.
Yeah.
But I think this cycle, it's actually happening on chain.
Yeah.
And it's 24/7. And I think people are sort of waking up to it because Robinhood can't halt trading on Radium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they can't stop it.
Yeah.
It's just a force of nature.
They can't sell your Solana for you.
No,
at the lows.
They can't sell your Solana for you. They can't halt trading.
Yeah.
They can't cancel your buy. So I feel like inevitably people will just move on chain more and more. Yeah,
I agree. So what's another thing you're looking at? You mentioned AI.
Yeah.
Right. AI, crypto, DePin stuff. What are your thoughts on that sector?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's another just like sleeping giant.
Yeah.
But not in the way people like think. I think a lot of people, when they think about AI and DePin, they think about like just GPU companies and just doing the payments on crypto rails. I think that's like a level like 0 or level 1 sort of like view of the intersection of the two like fields, right? Because I think at its core, if AI is an intelligence boom, crypto is a coordination boom. So you need to, you know, coordinate humans, devices, data sets. There's a lot of things that you need to coordinate in order to keep training models, in order to keep like refining them, in order to drive inference, like all these like areas that are so fast growing in AI. Crypto is sort of like the accelerant for all that. And it almost makes a flywheel spin. And I think this is what sort of people are realizing, that when you tokenize data or when you incentivize people to do a certain behavior, right? To provide inputs, multimodal inputs to an LLM, the best way to actually incentivize that is with a token, a crypto token.
Yep.
So I think people are sort of like, the first wave of projects has sort of come out that's sort of like the headline, like crypto X AI, it's like a meme, right?
Yeah.
But there's a number of other builders that are, I think, building with more intentionality, more of a long-term view, that are emerging now that I think are pretty exciting.
Okay. You by chance couldn't tell us any of those, could you?
Sure. I mean, it's no secret. Like, we're bullish on Cusco.
Okay.
We think.
Can you explain what Cusco does?
Yeah, absolutely. So Cusco is building essentially a spot market for LLM inference.
Interesting.
So it's a two-sided marketplace. You have, devs on one side, product and application engineers that need AI inference, right? And on the other side, you've got GPUs, people with CPUs and GPUs, excess compute capacity is just sitting idle. And as it turns out, about 50% of all compute sits idle at any given time. So what Cusco is doing is actually really smart. They're optimizing for the downtime and the idleness and helping people optimize that.
Interesting.
So if you're at work, or even if you're a big GPU operator and you run a huge farm of H100s and you do training jobs, there's going to be some downtime, right? You can't do that like 24/7. So they've created super light, super scalable software that can run on your home computer. And if your computer sits idle for more than 30 seconds a day, you can just join the Cusco network as a worker and provide inference resources to large language models like Llama or Mistral, and just basically get
tokens.
Points.
So you're essentially farming just by lending out your compute.
Exactly, and you're helping the application engineers get reasonably priced inference, which is
that's amazing.
Something that's like super needed right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
it sounds like I heard about this this like OG Bitcoin miner who was / hacker who was using other people's compute to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works, but it sounds similar to that, except like the legal way to do it. You actually pay them for it.
Exactly, except not like remote access like your device across the world. Yeah,
that's cool. Okay, so I guess let's move into something that I'm more passionate about, not more, but passionate about, which is community and community building. And I think, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but building community in Solana and building that distribution is key. Just as key as building a great product, right? Because in my opinion, you could build a great product, but if no one knows about it, no one's going to use it, right?
Yeah.
And you need that mouthpiece. So what do you think about that? What do you think about building communities in Solana? And what would be, if you were going to build one, how would you go about it?
To be honest, people, they're so focused on building the village, they forget to encourage the villagers, right? And this is an analogy Backpack uses, and they've done a great job building the village, but then also they know that the villagers are the mad lads. And I feel that's sort of the town square and ground zero for community on Solana is not necessarily just mad lads, but just in having your native community of evangelists who believe in the project, who are invested, not even just financially, invested emotionally. If their friends are there, if they spend their time there, if they have a sense of belonging, these are all powerful drugs, as it were, right? So I think just more broadly, crypto, it's obviously a tech and developer dominated space in the sense that they're creating the game that we play in. But I think people forget about the importance of community, because if you build a great product but people don't care, then it's like a tree falls in the woods. No one hears it. No one cares. You know what I mean? And I think if there's one thing I can say for sure is that the founders struggle with the community side, and to build distribution, get eyeballs per second. Right? For all this talk of transactions per second, Armani talks about eyeballs per second.
That's actually genius. I've never heard him say that.
Yeah, it's
true.
It's the most important metric. Attention is the most valuable resource in the world. If you can get people to care about what you're building, to be invested in it, this is the most important thing.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually having a conversation with Zano about this, like, I don't know, last night or whatever, but we were talking about it, and it's like, when you start, like, you need to build that cult of like 100 people, and you really only need 100 people. Like, you need your village to be 100
For
people,
real,
right?
For real.
And if you get a cult like 100 people together, they will proselytize for you,
100%.
and it will compound on itself. But like, you're a gamer. The gaming community did that so well, right? And like games do that well because, one, you have an identity. You have like this online identity through your character, right?
Yeah.
And then you hang out with your friends, you game with them or whatever. And so like that's like where your friends hang out, that's where you hang out. And like, that's what I think crypto needs to do, and with all these projects going forward, right?
100%.
It's hard to do with a project like Jito, for example, because people aren't going to identify with, staking. They're not going to put their identity in staking, right? So you have to create this community that they can put their identity in, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's something like we've been looking at doing. So I'd be curious to know, like, if you were going to work with a project like Jito, who doesn't have a NFT, like, how would you go about building a community?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's all about like basically creating that like WoW guild or like Modern Warfare 2 lobby like feeling, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Without the racism.
Without the weird like comments and the weird like freestyle like rap battles, but it's sort of like like just having it be fun in a place like we did this with Monkey DAO.
Yeah.
Like initially it was just like a bunch of us hanging out on the Discord. Mm-hmm. And it was just like a fun place to hang out. Like people would spend their whole day there, just hanging out, talking about Solana, making jokes, comparing notes on different projects. Yeah. That's how it started. I mean, we created the Discord to get ready for like the DJ Apes mint.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, next mint's coming up. Like, let's create a Discord. And
man, those were good days.
Those were great days.
Those were legendary days.
Crazy.
The NFT mints.
To your point, I mean, we had about 100 OGs with the OG like rank. It's like a little purple like tag. Mm-hmm. And it was absolutely like the true fans of Monkey DAO. Yeah. Like, those guys are the ones that really set the cultural foundation for what the organization would become. Yeah. Because they, once you set the right cultural like bearing, almost, it's like a ship. Like, once you point the ship in the right direction, you keep it on course. Like, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. Because that even when new people join, they understand like things are done a certain way. There's a certain set of values that are sort of understood. Yeah. And from there, like, the organization can just scale.
So what role do you think content plays in building your tribe?
Yeah, I mean, content is key. Content is like one of the most scalable and high leverage activities that anyone can do. I mean, I'm living proof of it, right? Yeah. I was an anon, just started tweeting about Solana. Basically the left curve thesis for Solana really early. And I helped people understand why Solana was bullish, And I helped them understand that in the last bull market, and I helped them understand it in the bear. Mm-hmm. That's when they needed conviction. But it wasn't hopium. Like, there was a real thesis, there's obviously real tech, and I think content plays a major, major role in onboarding and retaining people. Like, content is the real, like, cement and the real glue of community. Yep. Because it brings people in, but it also like keeps them in, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a way for us to sit down, have a nice conversation like this, but it also is replayable. It scales way harder than people realize. Like, one blog post, one video can change your life, 100%. Yep. I've seen it happen. It's like, it's happened to me a little bit on a smaller scale with some of my threads or some of my tweets and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hear people talk about that all the time, like just starting a podcast or whatever, changed their life because it helped them build the community. Yeah. And like, some of these guys didn't even know what they were doing. They were just talking about whatever. Yeah. But through that community, they found their purpose and their path, and like, things blew up. Actually, I've heard of guys starting, $100 million funds out of just a podcast, right?
For real, yeah. I mean, content is honestly like, it's just like a lighthouse. Like, if you shine your content into the night, some boat is going to see this and they're going to like come into your harbor. Yeah.
First, hold on. I love your metaphors. I think you have like a metaphor for everything.
That's the best analogy I can give. Like, it's literally that simple. Like, if you have a lighthouse and you're just putting out your content.
Yeah, you just put it out there into the universe.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna pick it up.
Someone's gonna pick it up, and not only are they not gonna think it's cringe, they're gonna actually be like, "This is awesome," and they're gonna bring their friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You definitely have to not be afraid to be cringe.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like
fine.
You see some of these guys on YouTube, and you're like, man, that is so cringe. But they're blowing up. Like I watched one guy who's kind of cringe, and he went from like 15,000 subs on YouTube to like 58 in a month.
Wow.
And it's just like super raw, like vlog style footage, and it's like kind of cringe, but he just exploded. And from that, like I've seen him get like business opportunities, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like everyone on the outside saying, "Oh man, you look cringe. I would never do that." But that guy's laughing all the way to the bank.
People love to hate on the man in the arena. You know, like people love to comment, like they want to be commentators on everything. They want to take shots from the sidelines. But the reality is, if they're not in the arena,
you can't. Yeah, you have no boss.
You can't hate on hate on the player. Just hate on the game. You know.
So like the last thing we should get into is Solana itself. Like where we've come from, where we're going, like where we're at in this cycle, and what's going on.
Yeah, people always ask me this question, like how far are we like through the cycle? They ask me like what inning we're in. I was like, dude, I'm from Europe. Like I don't even know what an inning is, like, or how many there are. I think we're like a little bit past halfway.
Yeah.
Like ETH BTC just reversed. Probably like a little bit more than halfway through the cycle. But I think Solana somehow has this way of like always putting the tension on itself when it wasn't supposed to happen. Like NFTs weren't supposed to pop off in 2021, but they did on Solana, right? And then Solana was like the NFT chain, but there was no DeFi. Right? Yeah. And then it's like memecoins weren't supposed to pop off either on Solana the way they did.
Yeah.
But thanks to projects like Bonk and even like Pepe on Ethereum, to be honest, they created a memecoin culture. And
it's just exploded.
Memecoins popped off. Like what can I say? Like now DeFi is booming, right? And $7 to $8 billion a week of memecoins have been traded like consistently for a couple months. Insane volumes. I mean, Jito's powering a lot of this stuff too, right? Ultimately, you can't fake culture. It's not something you can buy. It's not something you can give a grant for. You can't fake it. It's either like people are having fun and they're making money, and they're showing up every day. Even when they're not making money, they're still showing up, right? And that's a sign of a community that's reached escape velocity. Like it's past the point of no return. Like it's hit critical mass. And that point definitely happened on Solana in 2021, and it's definitely happened again this cycle. And I think, to your point, like Solana's a retail chain, and that's super bullish.
Yeah, it totally is. So I think that's probably where we'll end it today. I want to thank you for coming on again and giving us all your takes. It's always amazing to talk to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll have you on in the future.
Absolutely, man. I'll just leave you guys with one last thought, which I was talking with some of the guys at Solana, and we were sort of excited that we can sort of stress test the network with coins of dogs and cats and celebrities before like NASDAQ and like real trade moves on chain. And I think it's exciting. Solana, I think ultimately Solana will have like a huge amount of like global trade and even just AI, like machine-to-machine communications and all kinds of stuff will be living on Solana.
Yeah.
But that's the 1 to 100. The 0 to 1 was stuff like Bonk, NFTs, right? So you can't forget where you come from.
That's right. That's why we need to have more conversations, because like between you and Joe, I always get all bulled up after the conversations. I got to go home or like go buy some more Solana after this and just hold it.
I mean, look, Solana is a great community. And I think there's some chains that have tech and there's some that have community. And there's a couple of them that have both. And they're like the top chains in the world. Right? So if you combine those two together, it's probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
Probably something.
That's the perfect place to end. Thanks, man.